Jak się masz? Finally, the day has come. We're going to see the seals. However, all day long with seals turned into evening with seals because it's very hot day today. I don't think I would manage to be here all day long with that temperature, so instead we change it into the evening with the seals, and I hope we're gonna get some nice footage. Also, this will be the first time we're going down there while there is a high tide, so there will be different conditions. I hope I still can go down the cliff, and yeah, we will see them in completely different circumstances. What I noticed last time, they are quite curious and playful when they get more water in those channels. They are, you know, sort of like, they look like they want to interact with you when you up on a cliff and look down, and they stop and they also just flap the legs or whatever you call it, the fins. And yeah, they look like they really curious about who you are up there on the cliff and what you want. So let's hope with more water in those channels, yeah, they will be more playful and curious, and they will feel, well, basically more encouraged in the water than they are on the rocks. So yeah, well, we'll see how it goes today. halfway down the cliff on the platform that usually allows me to put all my gear and go down all the way down the cliff. However, to my surprise, I can't see them seals. I did see one floating in and out of water, but that was it. So funny enough, the water may be during the high tide, too high tide. There is no time, not a good time to watch them. After all, at some point they have to go for a food, don't they? I mean, you can see how different it looks like right now in here, how few rocks left to walk on. So yeah, that also not provide any platform for seals to rest and catch the sunrise. Sun rays, I mean. Wow, look at that. All that grey area I was walking down completely disappeared. All we got is just the black rocks at the top. And right now, absolutely not a single seal inside. I try to get all the way down to the surface of the water, but yeah, if they not around, that won't make any difference. I won't draw them their attention if they not in the area, you know. So looks like another lesson learned. It's not a good time to be here during the high tide. You have to come here during the low tide and maybe stay while the tide is rising, as long as you can see them, and then they disappear. Yeah, we are all the way down to the water, and oh yeah, there is one. There is one, but it's positioned against the sun, and yeah, I don't know how good the footage will be. There she is. Come on, baby. Alright, I do have a feeling that single seal won't resurface anymore. Like I said, they probably are feeding during this time. So, lesson learned, doesn't matter. The trip in here is always beautiful. We did learn the lesson. It's only during the low tide when it's worth to come here. Right now I can see some sheep at the top watching me, just like we all watch the seals down here. It probably cannot believe what's going on. Anyway, lesson learned, but it's never a failed trip, because we got again beautiful views. I have never been here in this place in state of such a high water. I know it can be higher, that's not the highest, but yeah, still is something new we seen and we learned, and it's just amazing to be out here. Let's see. So as you can see, what normally is rocky ridges and channels down here, right now is all flooded. That is the last bit that has left, and the bit we always climb up, which we're gonna do right now. Maybe we can spot if that seal is still around, better from the top. I mean, for sure we will see it better from the top. This is such a beautiful spot to be that I don't even want to go home. Let me see if I can find a new route going from my... Yes, that's much easier way of going down here. Straight into the platform which holds all my gear. Haha. So as you can see, this is where we always stop. So that was a trip, failed trip to see the seals. Not exactly failed, because we got a nice, really nice time walking around those hills on a Mort Point, and I really enjoy it. I always enjoy being out here. It's a beautiful spot. Now it's time to go home, so don't forget to subscribe. Of course, we will have to go again to see the seals and make a footage as close as we can. So yeah, stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe, and I see you all in another. You see, bit tired. It's very hot today, and yeah, I'm after work pretty much. So anyway, see you on another exploration. Don't forget to subscribe, and high five.